Right now, everyone using Claude keeps asking the same question. How do I save tokens in Claude? And you've probably seen a lot of advice on social media. I mean, if you go online, a lot of people say things like, don't upload PDFs, don't use Opus, use shorter prompts, right? But here's the problem with all that advice. Most of that advice is just surface level. Nobody really explains why you shouldn't do that. Because when it comes to saving tokens, it's not just about hacks. It's more so about understanding how these models actually work and how they actually operate. And once you see this, you would stop worrying about tokens completely. And to be fair, some of them are legit. But what I notice is that everyone is optimizing for tiny things while completely ignoring the big leagues, okay? Because it's like you trying to save for a house by skipping coffee while you have a subscription draining your account every single month. So in this video, I'm actually going to show you what actually bends your token, what actually saves them, and the system I use so that I don't even need to think about token anymore. Once I started using the system, I've been able to save my token usage by 50 to 70% week upon week. So let's get right into it. Now, there are three things that matter when it comes to token usage, okay? The first thing is the input, and the input is basically what you send into Claude. So I'm talking about the prompts, the PDFs, and all those things you typically like input into prompts, right? The second thing is what a model sends back, which is basically the output you get back. And the third thing is what model you're actually using. That's it. These are the three things that matter. But here's the mistake most people actually make, right? Most people obsess just over the model. Most people are thinking like, should I use Opus? Is Sonnet cheaper, right? Most people obsess about the model. Meanwhile, they're actually pasting entire documents into Claude. They're writing vague prompts and letting Claude generate essays every single time they prompt it. So yes, you may switch models and it might help, but it's not where the real gains come from. Okay, that's not how you're actually going to be saving 50 to 70% of your token usage week upon week or month upon month. Okay, now let me start first by talking about the biggest savings. Okay, and this is the output. Okay, and this is where most of your tokens are disappearing, because by default Claude is trying to help you, right? When you go into Claude and ask you a question, it's going to give you a long output because it's actually trying to help you, right? And this means that it's going to give you longer explanation, it's going to give you more context, more words, right? So if you just go into Claude and you say, explain this to me, you're actually going to get paragraphs upon paragraphs. You're actually going to get examples. You're going to get extra details you probably didn't ask for. And you're thinking, wow, Claude is so smart, right? But then you are burning your tokens by doing that. So now just compare that to this, okay? You go into Claude and you say, summarize in 5 bullet points and 100 words. Now, same task, but now it's a lot more structured, it's constrained, and it's efficient in that way. I want to give you a real example, okay? So for instance, you're working on your website, you have a landing page, and then you go into Claude and you say, can you analyze this landing page, right? You might end up getting like 300 to 500 words from Claude. And that's good. That's a lot of details. But if you go into Claude and you say something like this, maybe give me 5 conversion improvements, bullet points only, maximum 120 words, you just cut your token usage by more than half. Just by doing that, just by changing your prompts, right? Because here's the key, you end up not losing on quality, you're actually removing waste, you're removing a lot of fluff you probably don't care about, that doesn't do anything for you. Now I want to touch on the PDF strategy, right? Because everyone talks about the PDF strategy. This one gets shared a lot on social media. A lot of people on social media tell you that don't upload PDFs directly into Claude, right? And honestly, this one is actually good insight. This is good advice, but most people don't usually understand why people say you shouldn't upload a PDF, right? When you upload a PDF, Claude has to process the entire PDF, okay? Even if you only care about like a very small section. So what happens? You're actually burning tokens on Claude having to go through the headers, format it, and all the irrelevant pages you probably don't even care about, right? And additional filler content. So instead of you just doing that, you want to make sure that you're compressing your PDF before you send it. This is what I personally do, right? Before I send a PDF, I would upload a document somewhere else. I'll strip out all the fluff, the things I don't care about, and then I would only extract the key ideas and send those key ideas to Claude. So now instead of me sending like, let's say 20 pages to Claude, I'm just sending only 1 page of clean information to Claude, right? And what you're doing here is basically building your own lightweight rack system, right? You're actually controlling the context because now you're only giving Claude what you care about and what matters. And that's where the savings come from. Now, I want to talk about the model strategy. because a lot of people are also concerned about that, right? This is where most people start from, because every day there's an upgrade in the models and people want to start from there. And honestly, if you're just starting by picking the models, that's where you actually get stuck, right? Here's a simple way to actually think about it. If you always have Sonnet as your default, right? And when things get complex, you can switch to Opus, and when you just need speed, you can just use Haiku, right? The biggest mistake I see a lot of people doing is that a lot of people are using Opus for everything because they heard that's the most powerful model, right? If they need to write an email, they use Opus. If they need to summarize documents, they use Opus. If they have simple questions, they use Opus. That's like using a supercomputer to open a calculator. Yes, it's gonna work for you, but you're actually paying way more than you need to. Okay, so this is when you want to use Opus. You use Opus when you are doing reasoning that actually matters, or the task is complex, or you're actually stuck. Everything else, Sonnet will handle it just fine. Now, I want to talk about how you should structure your prompts, right? Because this is one of the most underrated ways to save tokens, right? Most people write prompts like they are talking to a person, and that's the problem, okay? Because the model now has to basically interpret what you mean. It has to decide how to respond and choose a format to respond in. And all of that, it costs tokens. So instead of you doing that, you want to make sure that you are removing as much ambiguity as possible when you're sending in a prompt, right? So this is an example of a bad prompt. You go into a Claude and you say, can you help me improve my marketing strategy? You want to write a better prompt, right? You give it a go, maybe improve my landing page conversion. You provide an output, maybe 5 bullet points, and you limit it to under 120 words. Now, Claude doesn't have to guess. It doesn't have to assume what you want, right? It will just execute, meaning that less thinking, less output, fewer tokens, right? Now, let me just kill everything you've been hearing, right? Because this is where things get interesting. You might have seen a lot of people on social media sharing these god tier prompts, right? You see things on social media like zero fluff mode, or you see things like token optimization, derivatives, or you see things like brevity protocols, right? All those things sound very fancy, but the idea is simple. Just stop Claude from being polite, because politeness costs you tokens, right? You don't need Claude to say, I'll be happy to help. You don't need Claude to say, here's a detailed instruction. You don't need Claude to give you like long intros. All you need is you tell Claude to do this, and then it does that for you, right? It'll give you same information, but it'll give you less output. And if you bake this into your Claude skills, your system prompts, your workflows and everything, you realize that you would end up saving tokens automatically every single time. Now, I want to talk about you building a system in Claude, because this is the part most people miss, right? A lot of people are so bent on saving on tokens on every single prompt every time. That doesn't scale, right? What you actually want is a system where token efficiency is actually built in. So for example, instead of you thinking like, how do I summarize this? You want to create a system that is basically a document compressor workflow that is optimized to summarize your documents for you, right? So instead of thinking, how do I write, let's say, better prompts, you want to create a prompt optimizer system, right? Instead of thinking, how do I shorten outputs, you want to create a structured response template as well. And once you do this, every time you go into Claude and try to use it, you realize that you're no longer just guessing, you're actually running a system. And this is where a lot of times things will start changing for you. That is where you actually see the real savings, because now you save your tokens, you save time, and you're actually getting better results. So yeah, if you came into this video thinking saving tokens was all about small hacks, hopefully now you see the bigger picture. You see that it's not just about the tricks, it's also about control over what you send, control about what you get back, control about the type of model you use. Once you do that, you realize that token usage stops being a problem entirely. Now, these are some of the things I actually break down inside my paid membership community: how to optimize your token, how to get the best out of AI, so that you're not just learning AI, but you're actually building real systems with it. So if you need to upskill in AI for your career, you want to sort of leverage AI in your business to save time, to make you more money, then you'd want to join my paid membership community. If you're interested in joining my paid membership community, I'm going to leave the link in the comment section below so that you can join as well. If you are able to lock in this week, that means you're locking in at the founding member price. This means that you're not going to get affected anytime the prices go up. But yeah, if you've not watched my videos, then I do have lots of videos on this channel talking about Claude, talking about Claude skills, OpenClaw. I'm going to leave most of these videos on the screen so that you can go check them out. If you're not subscribed, make sure that you hit the subscribe button button, share this video, and if this video helped you save tokens, why don't you give it a thumbs up, leave your comments in the comment section below, all the good stuff. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.